Hello and welcome back to the video. In this video, we're going to learn about Java and its variables. So let's get started with the introduction. Let's say we need a program that connects a user with a new job. Again, let's say we need a program that connects a user with new jobs. We need the user's name, their salary, and their employment status. All of the All of these pieces of information are stored in a program. We store our information in variables named location in memory. Naming a piece of information allows us to use that name later, accessing the information we stored. Variables also give context and meaning to the data we are storing. The value 42 could be someone's age, a weight in pounds, or the number of orders placed. With a name, we know the value 42 is age, weight in pounds, or num orders placed. In Java, we specify the type of information we're storing. Primitive data types are type of data built into the Java system. The three main data types we'll cover are int, double, and booleans. This lesson will introduce those built-in types and more. We must declare a variable to reference it with our program. Declaring a variable requires that we specify the type and the name. Again, let's go back to it. We must declare a variable to reference it within our program. Declaring a variable requires that we specify the type and name. Here we can see there's a comment, data type variable name. So here's the data type and this is the variable name. This is called the camel casing. Now int is, you can see this is the data type integer and this is a variable name, giving it that the age is an integer number. Double salary requirements. Now, why we're using double instead of int is that double can store decimal points as well. So your salary will always not be like $100, $200. It might somewhere be after the tax percentage cut off. It will be like around 99.78, something like that. That's why. And Boolean is employed. So you don't need a number for to know someone is employed or no. All you need is yes or no answer. So hence we have Boolean. Boolean passes yes or no decisions. The name of variables are is, salary requirement, and is employed. These variables don't have any associated value. To assign a value to a variable, we use the assignment operator equals to. Remember, this is an assignment operator, or normally in mathematical sense we say it equals to symbol. Now, age has a variable of 85, or A has a value of 85. When code is used to represent a fixed value like 85, it is referred as interior or integer. It is also common to declare a variable and assign it to a value in one line. For example, to assign 2021 or 2011 to a variable near year Code Academy was founded of type int, we can just write int year Code Academy was founded equals to operator, or the can go back. There you go. Or the assignment operator in 2011. Now let's do the exercise. In creator.java, here you go, we have a creator.java file. We have defined some variables related to James Gosling, the creator of Java. Inside main method, we use system out println to print out the variable name. So again, inside main method, we use system out println to print out the variable name. Now let's print out the variable name. As you can see, it's been declared here. Variable name. You can see here, we want to print this out. So let's write a comment printing the variable name. What we can do is system out dot print ln, and for this one we don't need the quotation because quotation is always and only used when we are printing a statement. Now if we are printing a variable, but we can just leave it the name of the variable here, and let's run it. As you can see, we successfully printed the creators of Java name here. This is done. Now let's go to the next part. Now it says use the same command to print out year created. Let's go ahead and do that. So regardless of it being a string or integer, we still use the same method to print them out. So there won't be anything else, it will just be the name of the variable. Let's try that now. As you can see, we have got the name of the creator and then 1995. Let's move on to the next concept. Now integers or int. It is a data type in Java. The first type of data we will store in whole is the whole number. Whole numbers are very common in programming. We often see them used to store age, maximum size, or the number of times some code has run, among many other uses. Again, we often see them be used to store age, maximum size, or number of times some code has been run, among many other uses. In Java, whole numbers are stored in integer primitive data type. Again, primitive data types are the default data types that comes with the standard Java library. Integers or int hold positive numbers, negative numbers, and zeros. They do not store fractions or number with decimal in them. The int data type allows value between negative, let's count it, 2 million and positive 2 million inclusive. So to declare a variable of type int, we use the int keyword before the variable name. So again, to declare a variable of type int, we use the int keyword before the variable name. As you can see here, int variable declaration, int year Java was created. Now let's go down. Now this is where we're storing 1996 to into the variable we just created, and then declaration and assignment int number of primitive types or data types. There are 8. Now let's go to the tags. The file name count comment.java. As you can see here, count comment.java, this is the name of the file, has a number of comments in it. As you can see, there are a bunch of comments in them. The name of the class is count comment. In our head, now we're gonna count the number of comments. Then inside the main method, we'll declare a variable called num comments that holds how many comments we have created, like we have counted. So let's count. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now let's do it. Let's define our variable. Again, we have 6 comments in this code. So we will say int num comments. For now, we'll just declare it here, and then let's run the program. So it also says it wants us to set. So we'll just set it here. Or what we could do is we could just do it comments equals to 6. But I think that doing just this in the same line is more effective. So we'll just comment this part out for now. So let's run the code. As you can see, it has successfully stored this number 6 to the number of comments. Now let's go down. It says us to print out the num comment. So let's print it out. I always make a habit of writing comment so that it makes me easy to keep track of what I'm writing. Printing num comments. So we again use the printing statement system out print line and num comments. Now let's run it. As you can see, we have successfully printed number 6. Let's move on to the next concept now. In this concept, we're going to learn about another data type or variable type, that is double. Whole numbers don't accomplish what we need for every program. What if we wanted to store the price of something? We need a decimal point. What if we wanted to store the world's population? The number could be larger than int type can hold. The double primitive data type can help us here. The double data type can hold decimals as well as a very large and very small number. The maximum is this number. As you can see, I can even like pronounce it properly. I like if I have to count, it will take me long. Which is approximately 17 followed by 307 zeros. Just imagine how long would it be. The minimum value would be a number with 33 to 4 decimal places. So it can hold really long numbers. To declare a variable of type double, we use the double keyword in declaration. As you can see, for the price, as we mentioned above, you can say double can hold decimal places. So here the double is holding the decimal place, that is 8.99. Double GDP, and this is a really long number that int could possibly not hold in its storage. So let's move on to tax one. As of 2016, Android has 81.7% of market share for mobile operating system. Now create a variable called Android share that holds this percentage as a double. Let's do this. We'll write this from scratch. We already know what is name of the class or name of the project, name of the Java file. So the class name should be same. If we do this, we'll keep on learning. So public class market share, we can put curly braces. So we have created a class named market share. Now we're going to create a method. So now this is where, again, we never need semicolons when we're declaring a class or a method. We just need it after statements and methods inside them. So we need to create a variable called Android share and store the value 81.7%. So double Android share equals to 81.7. Let's try and print out what would using int do. For now, we'll comment this out, run this, and the first one is 6 out. Now it says print out. Now this is when we'll test it. So system out print and Android. Yeah, let's print this out. Okay, now it is not working. Let's see what the issue is. There you go. So my bad, I accidentally put the comma instead of a plus. So as you can see, it successfully printed 81.7 when we use double. Now let's use int instead. Let's see what would we get. So it says that incompatible type, possible lousy. So it's not letting us do it because it's a double number, but it's going to an integer. So it's throwing an error. Let's still try to run. It does not. So I have to be very careful about that. And then let's run it again. And again, there you go. Let's go to the next one. Now, booleans. Boolean is another data type in Java. Often, our program face questions that can only be answered with yes or no. Is this oven on? Is the light green? Did I eat breakfast? These questions are answered with a boolean, a type that references one of two values, true or false, 0 or 1. We declare Boolean variables by using the keyword Boolean before the variable name. So as you can see, Boolean, Java is a compiled language and it says it's true. Java is a cup of coffee, that is false. In future lessons, we'll also see how Boolean values help us navigate decisions in our program. That will be if-else statements, but we'll go deep into it later. So let's go to the task. Our first task is to create a variable called int can hold decimal. Set it to true if the int type can hold a decimal number. Set it to false if the int type cannot hold this. So we just went from the before lesson that we saw that int cannot hold the decimal value and we got an error. So again, the name of the file is booleans.java, so we know what exactly what the name of the class will be. Booleans this, and we'll declare a method now. Create a variable, so boolean ints can hold decimals equals to false. Let's run it, and we got a check mark. We didn't get any error. Let's move on. Now it says us to print out your int can hold decimal variable. Let's do that. Printing ints can hold decimals. So system out of print line ints can hold decimals. Go. Let's try running it. As you can see, we successfully printed false because there was a false statement. Now let's move on to the next part. Char or characters. This is also one of the other data type. So how do we answer questions like what grade did you get on the test? What letter does a name start with? The char or character data type can hold any character like a letter, space, or a punctuation. It must be surrounded by a single quote. For example, char grade equals to, or the assignment operator under single quote capitalize A. Then as you can see, it's being followed here. So this is the uppercase, the lowercase, and a symbol. And likewise, we can also do for a space. Now, let's move on to the task. Now, the first task we have is to create a variable called expected grade of type char. Fill it with a single letter representing the grade you think you would get in a graded Java course where the grades are A, B, C, D, and F are possible. So again, let's remove this all. We know the name of the file is char.java, so it will be public. Let's do in second line. Public class char curly braces curly braces again. Now, char expected grade equals to A. I could write A plus, but for now the options are only A. Now let's try it. We got this wrong. Now, how did we get wrong? See, when I assign it, only numbers can be assigned like this, integers or doubles or any other number. You cannot assign char. Remember, we said we will use a single code. So let's do that. We'll put this A inside this code. Now you can see the color has changed. Now let's try running it again. Again, we still have an error. Now, can you guess what the error is? Let's do it again. Char expected grade equals to A. There you go. Now it's successfully ran. I think it was a spelling error. Let's move on. Now it wants us to print it. So printing expected grade. So again, system out print ln and expected grade. Semicolon. Let's run it. There you go. We successfully did. Let's see what will happen if we use double quote instead. And there you go. We got an error. Let's move on. Now the next part. So char and strings are same, but string can hold a lot of data, and that while char can hold only one character at a time. So string. So far we have learned primitive data types, which are the simplest type of data with no built-in behavior. Our program also uses string s, which are objects instead of primitives. Objects have built-in behavior. String s holds sequence of characters. We have already seen the instance of a string, for example, when we printed out hello world. We are There are two ways to create a string object. Using a string literal or calling the string class to create a new string object. A string literal is any sequence of characters enclosed in a double quotation like primitive data type variables. We declare a string variable by specifying the type first. As you can see, string greeting, assignment operator, hello world, and the double quotation. We could also create a string object by calling the string class when declaring a string like so. So you can see string, we can just say this s, string s equals to new string hello world. If you guys remember, and if you have taken C++ before, there's a similar pattern how we can use a declare a dynamically allocated variable using the new operator. So here also we are going to use the new operator. So this is the string class. This is our object of the string class, s of string, and then we're creating a new variable string that stores hello world. There are subtle difference in behavior depending on whether you create a string using a string literal or a new string object. We'll dive into those later, but for now, we'll most likely be using string literals. Certain symbols known as a escape sequence have an alternative use again. Certain symbols known as escape sequence have an alternative use in Java print statement. Escape sequence are interpreted differently by the compiler than other characters. Escape character begin with the character the backslash. There are three escape sequence to be aware of for the EP exam. So if you are taking EP exam, you're more than welcome to read this part. The backslash escape sequence allows us to add quotation mark to a string value, as you can see here. So this will print exactly this. So if you want to print the quotation as well, then you'll have to do this. Let's try doing it right now. String name system out dot print and slash, then again quotation, hello world slash. See, as you can see, this is inside this. Let's print it up. As you can see, I forgot to put an exclamation mark. Let's try this. Now I'm getting another error. So this is the mistake I did. Let's just not even use this at all. Okay, hello world. What if we had done this? Um, delete this. What if we do this? Because in the beginning, I've done this, but at the end, let's do this. See, we got an error. So it says illegal character this. Error, unclosed string letter. So you have to use it inside. This is how you close it. Order to print this. Run it. There you go. Hello world. Now, if you didn't use escape sequence, then Java would think you are using this to end the thing. Yeah, so if you don't use this and just use this, it will think you are ending it. So it'll start with this, and then you are ending with this. Let's do this. Let's see what will it do. We'll get an error. No, we didn't get the error. So this got printed up to here. Let's put a dot to print it. So no, let's do one. Let's see what it does. No, but there you go. Let's move on. So this is a similar to the last example, just like the double quote, the backslash usually has a special meaning. In this case, backslash is used to start an escape sequence. Well, if we don't want to start an escape sequence and just want a backslash in our string, then we'll use double backslash. We're using an escape sequence to say that we don't want the backslash to be interpreted as the start of the escape sequence, and it's a little mind bending. So this is to let it know that we're starting it, and this is to know that we're. Finally, if we place a backslash n escape sequence in a string, the compiler will output a new line to the text. So let's try this. Backslash n, and the hello world should be printed in a different line. Let's remove this part. Let's remove this part. Let's see what will it do. So we are causing it an error. Let's just remove this. There you go. If we put double backslash, there you go. If we put one singular backslash, or let's put double backslash, we got it here again. So one is used to say that we're start, other is used to actually put it there, and the end was into end. Now our task here is to create a variable called opening lyrics that has a value of yesterday all my troubles seems so far away. Okay, we're supposed to create a variable named opening lyrics that has a value of yesterday all my troubles seemed away. So let's do it. Let's remove this all. Now we have the song.java, so we know how to create a class. Again, in the second line, as I'm used to it, public class song. Then we'll put public static void main um, string. Then we'll put string opening lyrics, opening lyrics equals to yesterday all my troubles seemed so far away. Now, as we want this to be printed as well, so we need to backslash it. This, we don't need the last part. This, and then to let it know that this is where it is starting. There you go. And we got a bunch of errors here. So let's see what mistake did we do. I just want to delete one of them. Let's run it. Again, we have error. Let's just put one. Still we have an error. Let's do it twice. Still have an error. We'll keep on trying it until we get it correct. There you go. No. It says cannot find symbol string, symbol class string, location class. Hmm. Oh, this is where I messed it up. Hmm. Oh, okay. This is where I messed it up. So the mistake I did here was I put the strings S as is lowercase instead of uppercase. Then let's print it out. Print it out as a what I thought was this is what I was supposed to print. Probably I got it wrong. I guess So this will be inside to block it off. This will be to keep it. There you go. Let's move on to the next topic. Static checking. The Java programming language has a static typing. Again, static checking. The Java programming language has static typing. Java programs do not compile if a variable is assigned a value of an incorrect type. Again, Java program will not compile if a variable is assigned a value of an incorrect type. This is a bug, especially a type declaration bug. Bugs are dangerous. They cause our code to crash or produce incorrect results. Static typing helps us help because bugs are caught during programming rather than during execution of the code. The program will not compile if the declared type of the variable does not match the type of the assigned value. Here you can see the string hello world cannot be held in a type of variable or type of variable type int. The above example, we see an error in the console saying error incompatible type string cannot be converted into int. Int creating equals to hello world. Do that. So when bugs are caught at compilation, they interrupt execution of the code by causing runtime error. Runtime error in Java situation where the things might go wrong in the program are predominantly handled by the error and exception classes. The program will crash. Java's static typing helps programmers avoid runtime errors and thus have much safer code that is free from bug. Okay, let's do the tags. In the tags one, it says in mesh.java file, we have declared a bunch of variables that with wrong data type. Try to compile the file using the command java compiler mesh.java. Let's do that. Java compiler mesh.java. Now we got a bunch of errors. As you can see, we got 4 errors saying incompatible type cannot be converted from this one as this is not a string. If we wanted it as a string, we could just have done this. Usually it should just be stored. Now we should get one less error. Let's try it again. Java C mess Java. There you go. We only got 2 errors. Or not really. Hmm. It's because of this. Let's run it. So you see, we still have a bunch of errors. Only from 4 errors, we went back to 3 now. For now, let's revert this back. Yes, we can revert this back. Let's just run it. And for errors, now it says change the type of the variables so they can correspond with the type of the, for example, this. So let's fix this. This is integer. This is string. This is char. This is double. And this is boolean. Let's try running them now. As you can see, it successfully compiled without any error. Now compile the file and look at how it compiles without any error. There you go. Didn't compile with any errors. Let's move on. Can also do responsive naming. Let's imagine we're storing a user's name for their profile. Which code example do you think is better? This better? String data dot D or string name of user D. So as you can see, data, it can be a vague idea. I don't know What does data mean? What type of data? What is that data for? Here, well, we can see name of user is simple to understand if someone else is reading a code. While both of those will compile, the second example is much easier to understand. Reader of the code will know the purpose of the variable D. Value D. Naming variables. Variables are used whenever there is a need to store a piece of data and ensure code usability. So, naming variables according to convection convection leads to clear, readable, and maintainable code. When someone else or our future self read the code, there is no confusion about the purpose of variable. In Java, variable names are case sensitive. My height is a different variable from my height because here the H is capital, well, this is not. The length of a variable name is unlimited, but we should keep it concise while keeping the meaning clear. A variable starts with a valid letter or a dollar symbol or a underscore. No other symbol or numbers can begin a variable name. First place, where is a number, it cannot be a variable, and there's an asterisk, it's a symbol. You cannot do that. Are invalid variable name types. Variable name of one word are spelled in all Variable names of only one word are spelled in all lowercase. Variable names of more than one word would have the first letter lowercase while the beginning of the next letter, each subsequent word is capitalized. This style of capitalizing called camel case, which is also common in C++. Here you can see a good practice. Is the I is slower while the human H is upper. Bad style, no capitalization for the next word. See, this is a bad practice. If someone does not cannot distinguish it, you can say is a human. That's what people would think. First word be lowercase. This is wrong, and this underscore don't separate words. So this is also bad practice. Now in the bad names.java file, which is this, we declare a variable with confusing name. Run the file and look at the errors that you get while compiling. So here is like string, first name, this is wrong. This is okay, but does not make sense if someone else is reading. Now here dot, we can use dot. Here int salary, which is not camel case. Here we're using underscore, which is not good. Let's try it. And there you go, they get an error saying a statement saying this won't work. And so we just got an error. Let's go. Some of these variable names are illegal. Change the ones that are preventing the file from running. So we get to first, then name, then we get this email, then we can do this expected, then we can do off birth. Let's run it. There you go. Program runs. What if we put underscore again? Let's see what does it do. Program runs again. What if we put dot? Oh, we got an error. Okay, put a dot. Put capital E. Take it, the program runs, but it's not a good practice. Now the last module where we're gonna review about Java variables. Now, creating and filling variables. Variables are used when there is need to store a piece of data and insert code stability. Okay. Creating and filling variables is a powerful concept that allows us to keep track of all kind of data in our program. Again, creating and filling variables is a powerful concept that allows us to keep track of all kind of data in our program. In this lesson, we'll learn how to create and print several different data types in Java, which we'll use as to create bigger and more complex programs. In this lesson, we have covered these data types. First one is int, which stores whole numbers, then double, which stores bigger whole numbers and decimal numbers as well. Boolean, which just stores true or false, 0 or 1, negative or positive. Char, which stores a single character using a single quote. String, which stores multiple characters using double quote. Static typing, which is one of the safety feature of Java. And in this concept, what we learned was if we get an error, it does not happen in the compile time, it will happen while the code is being written. So before the code executes. So variable naming convention. Now practice declaring variables and assigning values to make sure you have a solid foundation for learning more complicated and exciting Java concept. Now let's do this task. So the task one is saying the file myprofile.java, here you go, myprofile.java, let's remove this as a whole, contains a class that represents your hiring profile as presented to potential employee. In the main method, create a variable named name that holds a name as a sequence of characters. So let's do it. So this is a public class, my profile, curly braces. Let's run it. We finished the first task. Let's move on. Create a variable named is with wholesale is as a whole number. So it is. I'm an owl, so my age is 2 years old. Now let's run it. Now it compiles successfully. Next, go to the next part. Create a variable called desired salary that holds a desired salary per year to a precision of 2 decimal points. So let's do this. Double desired salary goes to tens, 100,000, 10,000, 100,000, 1,090,000. Let's run him. Now, other part, create a variable called gender that uh, holds a single character male, M, F, female, N for none, and O for other. So I'm a male owl, so let's run it. We can see we got the error because we didn't put the single quotation. Let's run it. Now the fifth one. Create a variable called looking for job that holds whatever whether you are whether or not you are currently open to job offers. So let's do that. So we'll use boolean here, looking for job equals to true. Let's run it, and voila, we successfully completed this. See you in the next video. For now, bye bye, and thank you for learning Java variables in this video.